Hello and welcome to the Audacity Factor. My name is Kathryn, the host and creator here, also the founder of our community on Patreon. Check out the QR, go to the QR code. We all know what to do with the QR code and head over to Patreon. You can join for free. There's all kinds of resources there for you. And you can also check out the paid levels too, because I offer all kinds of other goodies as well. So, today is really about I guess kind of our ability to find reasons. There are all kinds of justifications, all kinds of excuses that we can make. Now, excuses are we typically use them when we don't want to do something. We don't want to go somewhere. So it's something that we're kind of resisting or maybe uninterested in or afraid of. That can be a big one as well. And it can really be, and justifications too can be that kind of same thing. And sometimes, those are used as a little bit of leverage, not quite as much leverage as an excuse, but we can pile them up. We can decide to pile them up and give ourselves the reasons, the justifications, the excuses why we are not going to do something or why we did something or whatever the scenario is. So, as I can find myself finding reasons not to do something, I always challenge myself. This isn't about finding the reason not to do something. It's about finding the reasons to actually do it, especially when it's something that I know is good for me to do, something that needs to be done, something that I want to do, maybe something new that I'm afraid of, or I am definitely a bit of an introvert and can avoid some social situations that are just too overwhelming for me. However, I do make it a habit to do engage anyway, unless it's something I really don't want to do. So instead of trying to find reasons and justifications why I don't want to, say, go to this family function or whatever it is, I just say no. It's just not something. And I practice, literally make this a practice of not coming up with a justification, not coming up with an excuse. It can be purely, I don't want to. So what are your reasons? And I'll often, sometimes I'll say, okay, well, is it something that I am just avoiding but there are times when I just really don't want to do it. And, but when it comes to things like my health, like my finances, my relationships, it's really important that you find the reasons why it's good for you, why you want to do it, why this is going to be good for you to do, and the reasons that will support you in actually taking the action to do it, because that's where so many people can get stuck. That's where I've gotten stuck. Sure, we can talk about it all in our head, and we can deliberate, we can justify, we can excuse, we can write the pros and cons list, which I will tell you right now, I am not a fan of the pros and cons list at all. I think if you have if you're needing a pros and cons list, then you're asking the wrong question and maybe questions. Or if you need to do that, then you're examining the wrong thing. If this is a relationship, you have to write a pros and cons list, then I would really pretty much say that maybe it's not a good relationship for you, at least in this iteration. Because, we can only choose our own behavior. We can only choose our own actions, our own beliefs, our own thinking. So, can that influence others? It can. It all has a ripple effect, but you can't change somebody else. So, so for me, the pros and cons list, I find a crutch that leads you to analysis paralysis. Unless there is like a giant list of cons and one pro or two pros, then it's obvious. Okay, well, this is not for you. And you didn't need the list to tell you that, but it can be as simple as that. So why not allow it to be? And sometimes it can be, in regard to a big decision, like you're going to end a relationship, you're going to quit your job, or you're going to find another job, or you're going to stop doing whatever that is altogether and do something else. I've done that many times. My original, I don't even want to call it a career because it wasn't anything intentional. It was kind of accidental. It was meant to be a kind of a stopgag. It was meant to be temporary until I discovered what I really wanted to do, thinking that there had to be this one thing. Well, there doesn't have to be. But for some people, it can be, and that can be good. But, when it comes to our reasoning and creating these lists of reasons why not, look for the reasons why you want to do it, that support you in doing that thing that you're resisting, the thing that you want, the thing that is good, will be good for you, will be supportive of your health goals, supportive of your financial and health goals. That can be everything, right? That can be your career, that is your relationships, it's your finances, your physical health, your emotional health, because they're all tied together. So instead of undermining ourselves and looking for the excuses why not to go to the gym, or why not to take a walk, or why, okay, well, I was going to eat salad. Salad. I rarely eat salad, I have to say. However, if that's your thing, fantastic. But whatever the thing is, it's going to support your physical health, your financial health. Am I going to just say F it and I'm just going to go ahead and do this other thing that I know is not going to support me? So what reasoning can you use as a practice to support yourself, to support your choices, to support your actions? Because without the action, the choice is just latent potential. I know y'all have all heard me say that many times before, but it's true. And it can't be that, say you've got an extreme scenario that you've are marrying this person, and then it comes closer and closer, and you feel like, what, I'm really not sure about this, or what, this is really not what I want. And I will admit to you, I did that. I was very young. I was 24, and it didn't last very long. However, I still went through all the process because everything was already arranged. All the invitations were sent, and everything was arranged. And I remember saying to a friend, I was waiting for him to stand up during the ceremony and say, "No, don't do it." And he said to me, if I had known you wanted me to say that, he said, I would have done it. But it's those kinds of things. We can reason ourselves into something, and we can reason ourselves out of something. Determine what you really want to reason yourself into, not force yourself into, not try to shove, yourself into this mold that doesn't fit you. I'm not talking about that, but that's so much of what we can actually do. Like going through with that wedding and then saying, oh shit, what did I just do? Been there, and more than once too. Not with the, marriage necessarily, but with many other things. So, it can be that one more drink, or it can be that one more donut, or it can be hanging around with that one person that you really don't want to hang around with, engaging in maybe a family gathering that you really don't want to, or somebody else's family too that you really don't want to. We're all taught that we have to sacrifice. We're all taught that, we have to suck it up and do this thing because everybody else expects it of you. Everybody else is like, well, my God, all the arrangements are made. You're getting married tomorrow. You have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to stay with someone you don't want to stay with. So, but it's our reasoning then. We go and then we check all the and we once you start to rationalize, then you've gotten yourself in your head and are engaging in the fearful part of yourself because you're trying to build a structure around something that really it's not possible to build a lasting structure around because it's something you don't want to be doing to begin with. So, what is it that you want to be doing? How can you create the scenario and all the reasons that you want to do this? I don't want to get married because this, and this. Or I don't want to stay married because this, and this. Or I don't want to stay with this person because this, and this. I don't want to stay in this job. Whatever the scenario is. And I know there are times when there is a big reason under, and a lot of that has to do with money. Big reason why you're staying where you're staying. And then we think, well, I can't get this anywhere else. Well, that's not actually true, is it? Is it? You might believe it's true. People might tell you that, oh my gosh, why would you do that? It doesn't, that's your why. It's not, it doesn't matter what they think, you know? Now, I mean, if you're in a relationship and you're, have a discussion with your spouse, but I encourage you though, too, as the spouse to be supportive of change and big change and be able to recognize that, yes, there's always going to be fear involved with that. And you can take it as fear. I take it as more of an excitement, and there will always be other opportunities, more possibilities. We don't have to believe otherwise. So don't stay where you don't want to stay. Do the things, reason with what are the reasons you want to go to the gym? So don't look for the excuses and the justifications of why not to do it. Look for all the ways that that thing will support you and how you want your life to be and how you want to feel, who you want to be, maybe even who you want to become, which you can change at any time. You don't have to remain this, whatever this is for you. I just want you to know that. You can change your mind at any time, no matter what it is in regard to. Head over to my Patreon, check it out. You can join for free. Click the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the like. See y'all soon.